Remember when you thought you weren't good enough? When doubt whispered in your ear, telling you that your goals were out of reach? Maybe it was when you missed out on an opportunity you really wanted, or when you felt like everyone else was moving ahead while you were standing still. But then something clicked. You realized that your worth wasn't defined by a single moment or a single setback. You picked yourself up, learned from the experience, and you tried again. And then what happened? You succeeded in other ways you never imagined. Remember when life felt overwhelming? When the to-do list was endless and you just wanted to give up? You had responsibilities piling up, maybe work pressures, family demands, and it felt like there just weren't enough hours in the day. But you took a deep breath, focused on one thing at a time, and suddenly things started to fall in place. You found your rhythm, started managing your time better. Before you knew it, what once seemed impossible became achievable. Remember when you felt stuck, like you were spinning your wheels but going nowhere? Maybe you were in a place that didn't inspire you, or in a situation that made you feel trapped. But then you made a decision. You decided that staying stuck wasn't an option. You started exploring new opportunities, took a risk, or made a change. It wasn't easy, but with each step, you moved closer to where you wanted to be. And now, when you look back, you see how far you've come. Remember when you struggled with your health? Whether it was trying to start a new exercise program or eating better, it felt like a mountain to climb. At first, it seemed impossible to stay consistent and the results weren't immediate. But you stuck with it, little by little. You started feeling better, stronger, more energized. And now the healthy habits that once felt difficult are now a part of your everyday life. We all have those remember when moments. Times when the obstacles seem too big, the path too unclear. But here's the thing, those moments didn't define you. What defined you was how you chose to rise above them. The next time life throws you a challenge, remember this. You've overcome before, and you'll overcome again. A setback is just a setup for your next success. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Your story is still being written, and the best chapters are ahead of you. Keep pushing, keep believing. You're always stronger than you think. Have you ever stopped to think about the power you hold in each moment? Not just the big life-changing moments, but the small, everyday decisions that shape the course of your life. Decisions are a superpower, one we often overlook. But here's the truth. Every choice you make, no matter how small, is a step that builds your life. The problem is most people don't realize this. Most people are stuck in habits, living on autopilot, victims of their routines. Think about it. How many of your daily actions are done even without thinking? You wake up, check your phone, maybe hit the snooze a few times. You grab something quick for breakfast, head off to work or your daily routine, and before you know it, the day's gone. It's easy to fall into the same patterns day after day without stopping to realize that those small, mindless choices are steering your life. The scary part is those habits can lead you to a life you never really chose. But it doesn't have to be this way. You have the power to make decisions that can change everything. Think back to a time when you had to make a big decision. Maybe it was about your career, a relationship, or even your health. It felt like the weight of the world was on your shoulders, but once you made a decision, your world started to shift. You decided to take a new job, and suddenly your daily choices started to align with that decision. You decided to leave a relationship that wasn't right for you, and it opened the door to new opportunities. The big decisions create a ripple effect, leading to smaller daily choices that shape your reality. Every day, you're faced with decisions that can either move you forward or keep you stuck. Will you take action on your goals, or will you stay in your comfort zone? Will you fuel your body with what it needs, or will you give in to what's easy? It's in these moments that you have the chance to flex your superpower, the power of choice, the power to direct your own life. The key is this: you're always one decision away from a different life. And it's not just the big choices, it's the small, consistent decisions that really define your path. The decision to show up, to be disciplined, to put in the work when no one's watching. These are the decisions that build the life you want. So ask yourself, are you living by design or by default? Are you actively choosing the life you want, or are you letting habits and routines run the show? Because the truth is, you can make a decision today, right now, that will set your future in motion. You can choose to take control, be the driver of your own life, rather than a passenger on autopilot. Life is a series of choices. You decide what direction you go in, what you focus on, and how you respond to what happens. Your decisions define your destiny. And here's the beautiful part. No matter where you are right now, you have the power to change it. You have the power to choose. So make the decision to live consciously, to break free from old habits, and to create the life you've always wanted. Because in the end, your life is made up of the decisions you make. Flex your superpower and decide to make it extraordinary. Let me ask you a simple question. Is there something you've been meaning to do, a dream you've been holding on to, or a goal you've been putting off? Why haven't you started yet? We all have something we're waiting on. Maybe it's waiting for the perfect moment, when the timing is just right, when all the stars align. Maybe you're waiting until you have more money, more time, more confidence, or more clarity. But here's the hard truth. The perfect moment doesn't exist. There will never be a time when everything lines up exactly the way you imagined. And if you keep waiting for it, well, you'll be waiting forever. Remember when you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, but then tomorrow came and went and nothing changed? Maybe you've been telling yourself this for months, even years, waiting for that magic spark to ignite the fire within you. But the truth is, it's not some outside force that's going to make things happen for you. It's you. You have the power to start right now, today. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to have everything to be perfect. All you need is to take that first step. Because the longer you wait, the more time slips through your fingers. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before you know it, years have gone by and your dreams are still sitting on the shelf collecting dust. So what's holding you back right now? Is it fear? Fear of failure? Fear of the unknown? Fear of stepping outside of your comfort zone? Come on, that fear is normal. Everyone feels it. But the people who succeed, who live the lives they want, are the ones who feel that fear and take action anyways. They don't let fear control them. They take control of the fear. Think about this. Every great achievement, every success story started with a single decision: to stop waiting and start doing. The people you look up to, the ones who are living the lives you admire, they didn't have it all figured out when they began. They just decided to start. And they made the choice to move forward, no matter how uncertain or scared they were. And that's what I'm asking you to do today. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for permission from someone else to tell you it's okay to chase your dreams. The time is now, and I mean right now. There's no better time to start than this very moment. So what are you waiting for? The only thing standing between you and the life you want is action. You have everything you need inside you. You have the strength, the ability, and the power to take the first step. Don't let another day pass by without moving forward. This is your moment. This is your chance to break free from the cycle of waiting and step into the life you've always wanted. Start today. Start now. Because the only thing you're truly waiting on is you. Today's going to be a day to get back up and get back in the fight. I mean, we've all been there, that moment when life knocks you down so hard and it feels impossible to get back up. I mean, maybe you work tirelessly towards a goal, only to see it slip through your fingers. Maybe you put your heart into something, your career, a relationship, or a dream, and it didn't turn out the way you'd hoped. And I know it hurts. And in those moments, it's easy to feel defeated and to question everything. But what you need to remember is defeat is not the end. It's a part of the process. Every person who has achieved success, every person you admire, they've had their own version of failures. They've been knocked down, just like you. But the difference is they chose to get back up. They didn't let defeat define them. In fact, they used it as fuel to keep them going. When you're in the middle of a tough defeat, it can feel overwhelming. You might be asking yourself, why did this happen to me? Or what's the point of trying again? But the truth is, it's not about avoiding failure. It's about how you respond to it, how you choose to stand back up, to dust yourself off and keep moving forward. Really, think of a baby learning to walk. They don't get it right the first time. They'll fall over and over again. But as a baby, they don't see those falls as failures. They see them as part of learning. And with each fall, they get stronger, more determined. And eventually they figure it out because they didn't give up. Life's the same way. The setbacks you face today are not there to stop you. They're there to teach you, to make you stronger and more resilient. It's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to take a moment to catch your breath. But don't stay down. Don't let that tough defeat be the final chapter of your story. Instead, let it be the chapter where you rise, where you prove to yourself just how strong you really are. Because you are stronger than you think. Every defeat, every failure, that's a step towards something greater. It's not a sign that you're not good enough. It's an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to come back even better. It's imperative to remember that the road to success isn't a straight line. It's full of twists and turns and, yes, setbacks. But those setbacks are what make the victories so much sweeter. And no matter how tough it feels right now, you have the power to rise above it. So pick yourself up, dust yourself off. Remind yourself that this defeat does not define you. What defines you is your ability to keep going, no matter how many times life tries to knock you down. Because in the end, it's not the defeat that matters, it's what you do next. Are you really going to talk yourself out of getting what you truly want? We all have that voice in our head, the one that whispers doubts, that questions our worth, that amplifies our fears. It's the voice that tells you you're not good enough, you can't do it, or what if you fail? Sometimes it feels like no matter how hard you try, that negative voice is always there, ready to pull you down when you're just trying to rise. But here's the truth, that voice isn't you, it's just noise. And like any noise, it can be quieted. It's easy to believe that voice when things get tough. When you're faced with challenges and setbacks, or just a bad day, the negativity in your mind can seem endless. You start to believe the lies it tells you, that you're not capable, that you're not strong enough, that you'll never succeed. But you're so much more than that voice. Beneath the noise is a deeper truth, one that speaks of your strength, your resilience, and your potential. The key is learning to recognize that negative voice for what it is. It's fear. Fear of failing, fear of the unknown, fear of stepping out of your comfort zone. And fear is loud. It loves to shout and get your attention. But courage speaks quietly. It's the steady whisper that tells you to keep going, even when you're scared. It's the inner strength that reminds you that no matter how loud the doubts become, you're capable of more than you think. You have the power to quiet that negative voice, not by fighting it, but by choosing not to feed it. When those thoughts of doubt and fear start to creep in, remind yourself of the times you've pushed through before. Remember the moments when you didn't think you could do it, but you did. Focus on the light within you, not the shadows cast by fear. And it's not about pretending the negativity doesn't exist. It's about not letting it control you. Every time you choose to focus on what's possible instead of what could go wrong, you take back your power. Every time you decide to believe in yourself, even just a little more, that voice gets quieter. And soon the voice of doubt becomes nothing more than background noise. You're the one in control, not the voice of fear, not the voice of negativity. It's you. And every time you rise above it, you prove to yourself just how strong you truly are. So the next time that voice tries to tell you that you're not enough, remember this. You've already come so far. You've already faced challenges, doubts, and fears, and you've made it through every single time. You're not defined by your fears. You are defined by your strength to rise above them. In the end, you hold the power to quiet the noise and see the light. And that light, it's already within you. It's easy to feel gratitude when life is going well, isn't it? I mean, when things are smooth, when we have what we want, when the sun is shining, it's natural to say, thank you. But what about when things aren't so easy? When the challenges pile up, when the stress feels overwhelming, when life throws unexpected curveballs? Gratitude doesn't always come so easily then, does it? And you know what? That's normal. Our brains are hardwired to find the problems, to notice what's wrong. It's a survival instinct that's been with us for generations, designed to keep us safe. So when you find yourself focusing on what's not working or what's lacking in your life, understand that it's not a flaw. It's just how we're built. But here's the beautiful thing. While our default mode is to focus on the negative, we have the power to change that. Practicing gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to rewire your brain, to shift your focus from what's missing to what's already here. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. How many times have you been caught up in the stress of a situation only to realize later that there were things to be grateful for all along? Maybe it was a difficult time at work, but you had supportive colleagues by your side. Or it was a personal challenge that felt overwhelming, but it taught you resilience. These moments are always there, but they're easy to miss when we're consumed by what's going wrong. Gratitude isn't about ignoring the difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on what's still good, even in the middle of the storm. It's about recognizing that no matter how tough things are, there's always something to be thankful for. It takes practice, and it's not always easy, especially in the hardest moments. But when you take the time to reflect on what's good, even if it's just a small thing, you start to shift your perspective. You begin to see possibilities instead of roadblocks. You start to notice that even in the hardest situations, there's still light. And that's the magic. It doesn't change your circumstances, but it changes how you see them. It reminds you that even when life feels heavy, there's still beauty, still hope, still reasons to keep going. Start small. Each day, take a moment to pause and reflect. What's something, no matter how tiny, that you can be grateful for today? Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's the support of a friend. Maybe it's simply the fact that you woke up this morning with another chance to try again. And over time, your brain starts to shift. The negative default doesn't feel so automatic anymore. You become more positive, more optimistic, more capable of facing whatever comes your way. Gratitude is a choice. It's a practice. And in the toughest times, it's a lifeline. It helps you see that no matter how hard the road is, there's always something worth appreciating. And in that appreciation, you'll find your peace. The other day I was out for a walk. Now normally it's my time to clear my head, get some fresh air, reset. But on that day I was walking with a sore hip, and every step sent a dull ache through my side, and I couldn't help but think about it. As I passed people along the path, I realized something. None of them knew I was in pain. I looked just like anyone else going about their day. But inside, I was dealing with something. And that's when it hit me. We have no idea what other people are going through. We see faces, we exchange greetings, we pass each other by, but we never really know what someone else is carrying with them. Everyone is dealing with something, and most of the time, we have no clue. Maybe it's physical pain, like the soreness I felt. Maybe it's something deeper, like emotional pain, the kind that no one can see but weighs a person down. Maybe it's financial stress, trying to make ends meet while putting on a brave face. Or perhaps it's the quiet struggle with mental health, anxiety or depression that can feel like a heavy fog even when the sun is shining outside. Think about your own life. How many times have you smiled at someone or told them that you were fine when, deep down, you were anything but? We all do it. We keep going, even when we're hurting, even when things aren't okay. And the people around us, well, they do the same thing. They're fighting battles we know nothing about. That's why compassion matters so much. On that walk, I realized something important. Just as no one knew what I was feeling, I didn't know what they were dealing with either. The person I passed could have been carrying a pain far greater than mine. They might have been going through a breakup, grieving a loss, or stressing over unpaid bills. Truth is, we never really know. But what we can do is offer a bit of kindness, a bit of understanding. We can remember that everyone we meet has their own story, their own struggles, and their own moments of hardship. Maybe they're not wearing their pain on the outside, but it's there, just like mine was that day. So the next time you cross paths with someone, whether it's a stranger on the street, a colleague at work, or a friend, remember that they might be dealing with something you can't see. And just like you need grace on your hardest days, they might need it too. Like a smile, a kind word, a little patience. These small gestures can make a big difference. You never know how much someone might need it. We're all in this together, doing our best to get through life, one step at a time, sore hips and all. Let's show a little more compassion. Because at the end of the day, we're all dealing with something, and sometimes that small act of kindness is exactly what someone needs to keep going. Change is funny, isn't it? I mean, it's always happening around us, whether we like it or not. The seasons shift from summer's warmth to winter's chill. We see it in our careers, our relationships, or even in the world itself. Change is everywhere. And yet, despite how normal it is, many of us fear it. We cling to the familiar, to what we know because it feels safe. But the truth is, change isn't just inevitable, it's necessary. If we learn to embrace it, we don't just survive it, we thrive. Everything in life changes. Nature doesn't stay stagnant. There's a constant cycle of growth, death, and then rebirth. The trees shed their leaves only to bloom again in the spring. The ocean ebbs and flows with the tides. It's a natural part of life. And just like nature, we're meant to evolve, to adapt, and to grow. But so often we resist. Why? Because change is uncomfortable. It forces us to step outside of our comfort zones and to face the unknown. It challenges us to let go of what we've always known in order to become something greater. And that, for many, can be scary. But without change, there's no growth. If we never allow ourselves to step into the discomfort, we'll stay stuck. And staying stuck might feel safe for a while, but over time, we end up falling behind. We miss out on opportunities, on possibilities, on the chance to become more than what we are right now. While the rest of the world moves forward, we're left behind. Think about the times in your life when you faced change. Maybe it was an external change, like a new job, or moving to a new place, or the end of a relationship. Or maybe it was an internal shift, deciding to break an old habit, start a new one, or change your mindset. At first, it probably felt difficult, maybe even overwhelming. But after a while, once you got through the initial discomfort, didn't you come out stronger? Didn't you find yourself better equipped to handle whatever life threw your way? Change is like that. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. And the best part? When you learn to embrace change, not just react to it, but you take control of your life. You stop waiting for your life to happen to you, and you start making conscious choices about who you want to become. Yes, change will happen whether we want it or not. But when we take ownership of that change, when we decide to grow with it, to use it as a tool for transformation, something amazing happens. We don't just keep up with life, we get ahead of it. We become the architects of our own futures, shaping our lives into something greater than we've ever imagined. So don't fear change. Don't shy away from the discomfort it brings. Instead, lean into it, embrace it. Know that every shift, every challenge, every unknown is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to become more. Change is constant, it's inevitable, but it's also a gift. And when you stop fearing it and start embracing it, that's when you truly unlock your potential. Life is changing all around you. The question is, will you change with it? There's a big difference between existing and living. Existing is going through the motions. It's waking up, going to work, doing what's expected of you, and then repeating the cycle the next day. It's staying in your comfort zone, playing it safe, and never stepping outside of the boundaries you've created for yourself. And sure, might feel secure, maybe even comfortable, but is that really living? Living, on the other hand, requires something more. It requires that we take risks, that we step outside of the familiar and into the unknown. Living means risking failure, risking pain, and risking loss. But those risks, they're what make life worth living. They're what gives life its meaning, its color, and its richness. Too many of us spend our lives avoiding risk, afraid of what might go wrong. We think, what if I fail? What if I get hurt? What if I lose? And yes, those things might happen, but let me ask you this. What if you succeed? What if you grow? What if you experience more joy than you ever thought possible? What if, by taking that leap, you discover something about yourself that you never would have known if you'd stayed in your safe little bubble? Risk is a necessity for living. It's a doorway to everything you want in life. And when we avoid it, when we choose the easy path, the one that keeps us comfortable, we're not truly living, we're just existing. We're breathing, but we're not really alive. It's time to evaluate your life and be honest with yourself. Are you living, or are you just existing? Are you taking risks, or are you playing it safe? Are you stepping into the unknown, or are you staying in the same familiar routines, never challenging yourself to grow? It's easy to exist. It's easy to stay where you are, to do what's comfortable, and to avoid anything that might bring discomfort or pain. But existing is not why we're here. We're here to live, to experience the highs and the lows, the wins and the losses, the joy and the pain. Because all of it, every single part of it, is what makes life beautiful. You can't have the rewards of life without the risks. You can't know the thrill of success without first risking failure. You can't experience true love without risking heartache. You can't grow into the person you're meant to be without risking the discomfort of change. And yes, I know risk is scary. But living fully means being willing to face that fear and to step into it anyways. It means saying, I might fail, I might fall, I might lose, but I'd rather try and fail than never to try at all. Because even in failure, there's growth. Even in pain, there's learning. And even in loss, there's wisdom. Stop existing. Start living. Take that risk you've been avoiding. Step into the unknown. Dare to fail. Dare to feel. Dare to experience everything life has to offer. Because that's where the magic happens. That's where you'll find the life you've been searching for. Because at the end of the day, you'll never regret the risks you took. But you will regret the chances you never gave yourself. What if I told you that the way you start your morning determines the kind of day you'll have? Your mornings are like a launching pad. Get them right, and the rest of the day aligns. But here's the secret. Having productive mornings isn't about being perfect. It's about adopting simple, consistent habits that set you up for success. Let's explore 5 powerful morning habits that you can practice to make each day more productive and purposeful. Number 1, get moving. Even if it's just a little, starting your day with some physical activity activates both your body and your mind. Whether it's a quick stretch, a brisk walk, or a 20-minute workout, moving your body jumpstarts your energy levels. Exercise not only improves your mood, but it also sharpens your focus for the rest of the day, helping you tackle tasks with more clarity. Number 2, soak in the sunlight. Getting outside or letting the natural light in tells your brain, hey, it's time to wake up. Exposure to morning light resets your internal clock, making you feel more alert and less sluggish. A few minutes outside, even if it's just sipping coffee on your porch, makes a huge difference in setting a positive tone for the day. Number 3, practice gratitude or mindful moments. The mind has a natural tendency to focus on the negative. It's wired that way for survival. But when you take a moment to breathe and express gratitude, even for small things, you rewire your brain. Whether it's a quick meditation, a gratitude journal entry, or simply affirming, today will be a good day. These mindful practices help you stay grounded. Number 4, make your bed and organize your space. It might seem trivial, but making your bed in the morning gives you an immediate sense of accomplishment. It's a small task that creates momentum for the rest of your day. When your environment is neat, your mind feels clearer, leaving you more focused to take on the bigger challenges ahead. And finally, number 5, plan your day with purpose. Planning doesn't have to be rigid, but having a rough idea of your goals makes a world of difference. Take a moment to jot down what you want to achieve. Whether it's a big task or a small one, having a plan gives your day direction and ensures you're in control rather than reacting to everything around you. Each of these habits is simple on its own, but together they build a routine that fuels success. Consistency is the key. Some days will be harder than others, But the more you practice these habits, the easier it becomes. So what will you do tomorrow morning? Will you roll out of bed and let the day happen to you? Or will you take charge, one habit at a time, to shape your future? It starts with small steps, but those small steps will take you far. Make tomorrow count. It's okay to be different. In fact, you being different is exactly what this world needs. Why do so many of us feel the need to blend in? Society pushes us to fit into these neat little boxes, dress like others, think like others, live like others. But the truth is, greatness is rarely found in the crowd. It's those who dare to stand out, who swim upstream, who change the world. I mean, think about it. Every great inventor, artist, and leader made a decision to be different. The Wright brothers were laughed at for believing humans could fly. Einstein's ideas were initially dismissed by his peers. Steve Jobs once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do." What all these people had in common wasn't just intelligence or talent. It was the courage to walk a different path. But here's the truth. Being different isn't easy. It comes with risk. People might question your choices, and some are going to criticize you. But fitting in at the cost of losing yourself is far more dangerous. Living someone else's version of success leads only to regret. There's freedom in being yourself. When you stop chasing approval, you can pursue what really matters to you. That's where real happiness lies, not in following trends, but in creating your own path. Every one of us has unique gifts, unique thoughts and ideas. And if you bury those gifts to fit in, the world loses out. There's only one you. You were not born to be a copy. You were born to leave your mark. So why hide? Why settle for blending in when you were made to shine? Yes, daring to be different comes with challenges. There will be moments of doubt. There will be times you stand alone. But the reward is authenticity. It's waking up each day knowing you're living life on your own terms, not someone else's script. Ask yourself, what kind of life do you really want? A life where you play small and safe, or a life where you express yourself fully and discover the incredible things you're capable of? The world doesn't need more people trying to fit in. The world needs bold souls willing to be different. Because those who dare to step away from the crowd, they're the ones who inspire change and ignite ideas, achieve greatness. So make a choice. Dare to be different. Dare to dream. Dare to speak up. And dare to live boldly. In the end, it's not about fitting in. It's about standing out. And the ones who stand out, they're the ones who change the world. Be different. Be real. Be you.